Hey everyone, this is Angela from Bake It With Love, and today we're making my grandma's recipe for the Oatmeal Molasses Raisin cookies. One of my favorites from childhood. It comes from a time in World War II when sugar was rationed, so if you didn't know that, that's why the molasses is used to kind of offset the amount of sugar needed. So we're going to start out with kind of your core cookie ingredients. We've got some butter here, it's already at room temperature, some eggs that are beaten. Make sure that your eggs are at room temperature. This is going to move us along a lot faster. If your eggs are cold, put them in a glass of warm water and they'll come up to room temperature pretty quickly. So those two are really the only specifics because my molasses is always at room temperature. And so other than that, flour, sugar, we're going to use some raisins and oats. I like old-fashioned oats. I know the quick oats sometimes are people's favorite in cookies, but for lack of a better word, I like the oaty flavor in regular old-fashioned, not steel cut in this case. Steel cuts for certain things, not this batch of cookies. So, and then some cinnamon and your baking soda and baking powder and salt, and we are ready to go. We're going to get going with this, and we're going to start out with the first things first, is creaming my butter together because I like everything to be a one bowl method. So I'm going to start out with all my wet ingredients. My butter's not super cool because it is winter here in Minnesota, which means that unless I turn up the heat really high, my butter doesn't get super soft. So I'm just going to break it up a little bit rather than breaking out my stand mixer, which I don't always like to do. But you just got to get it smearing a little bit and then start creaming in your sugars. So my sugar, and I'll keep creaming this together. My butter and sugar are creamed together pretty well. They're kind of clumpy, but it's not going to matter in the end. We're going to add the rest of the wet ingredients, which is going to be our beaten eggs and our molasses. It's going to take a second. And usually when I'm doing all of my wet ingredients first in a bowl, in a one bowl method like this, I also like to add my salt, baking powder, baking soda here. All of these, so that when I combine all of my wet ingredients, all of those are well distributed throughout my base before I add any dry ingredients. So get all of that in there, including your cinnamon, which cinnamon and molasses are just made to go together. So, okay, next thing we're going to add is our flour. And I've got that here. Not a ton of it because we'll be adding quite a bit of oats. Let's gently stir that in so it doesn't end up all over the place. If you're doing a stand mixer version of this, start out low when you add your flour. So we've all learned that the hard way, huh? They're definitely drop cookies. They won't be refrigerated or chilled at all. We're just going to go straight to putting them on our cookie sheets. Add your oats, and you can go ahead and add your raisins at the same time. We'll mix those in, and we will be ready to drop these onto our baking sheets. So we'll be right back. Okay, our cookie dough is all mixed up, and these are simple drop cookies. So I'm just going to use my kitchen teaspoon here, tablespoon, and roll them up into rough balls of the dough. Not perfect, and it's definitely sticky. And place them a couple inches apart so they don't run together. And if you're not sure if your cookie is going to spread too much, you can always put 2 or 3 on your baking sheet and do a test batch first. Our oven is preheated to 350 degrees, so it is ready for these to go right in. And I always check my cookies early, but these typically bake in about 12 minutes. So it should be just about perfect at that point. Alright, they're ready to go in the oven. Again, 350 degrees. We're going to bake these for at least 12 minutes. You can check on them a bit earlier, and they can take a little bit longer than 12 to 15 minutes. Alright, let's get them baking. Okay, so our cookies are done. They are oatmeal molasses raisin, sometimes known as World War II cookies because of, like I said, the rationing way back when, on the days of our grandparents, great-grandparents. My grandma, this is a recipe that I latched on of hers when I was little, and have been addicted to it ever since. I'm sure you will be too. Don't forget the cinnamon. It just sets off the molasses flavor in these just right. So I hope you enjoy them. If you do, be sure and leave a comment. Let us know when you make them. Give the video a big thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and come back and see us again. Thanks.